How did it feel getting the wrath of Aaron Rodgers a little bit earlier this year? Like he didn't name you directly like he has with some other sports media people, but he was definitely responding to your interview with Romeo Dobbs when he complained, and he said something about like tired voices trying to make him look bad.
Which not at all like what we were doing. But it's so funny because Aaron Rodgers always gets so upset when people take him out of context. He took that whole thing out of context. Yeah. Like, dude, a pot, meat, kettle. Anyway, yeah, we had Romeo Dobbs on, the wide receiver that just come off his rookie wide receiver year for the Green Bay Packers. And we were having like a nice conversation with him. He was fine. He seemed into it, you know. His energy level was good. There's all the things that you're looking for in a good guest. And he was, I forgot what the question was before, but he was talking about, I think it actually might have been about Jordan Love, but it was like about becoming friends with guys and getting to know them and trying to build chemistry with them. So it's like, oh, well, was there ever a moment like out of the building where you got to hang out with Aaron Rodgers and like try to build chemistry that way? And he's like, no, we didn't really hang out. And that was it. We weren't like, oh, you know, or maybe I was like, I might have said, oh, like that's a shame or something like that. But we didn't like editorialize that more. We get it. There's a 20-year age gap between the two guys. Dobbs was just being honest. And then it got totally caught like wildfire because I think a lot of people, there is this narrative out there that Rodgers is sort of aloof and maybe he's up here and everyone else is down here. But I didn't create that for Rodgers. Right. Like this is years in the making for him. We just asked Romeo Dobbs a question. So I'm not trying to play like, oh, innocent me. We never thought that was going to
and do if anything, I think you're offering the opportunity for that narrative about Rodgers to be changed, like thinking like Romeo Dobbs probably he's got to have like some sort of story to tell about spending time with Rodgers, and you're never expecting the answer to just be like, oh, we've never hung out before.
Well, and also I remember being able to having done a show with Bart Scott for 2 years. Bart used to talk about all the time how Monday Night Football, he'd have guys over to the house. They'd go out to restaurants. Like he was sort of the quarterback of the defense in a lot of those, you know, for some of those Jets teams.
Right.
Because he's this big personality and he's such a, you know, gregarious guy. So he would have guys over all the time. So I just sort of thought, well, I'm sure the offense is probably doing this too. So I had at least a little insight that athletes do this, that they do have each other over, you know, during the season just to try to, you know, shoot the breeze and get to know each other.
How do you think Rodgers is going to do with the New York media?
He'll be fine. He's going to love this too, because he's going to get a lot of attention. And I think he likes having the attention. I'm just curious what he's going to do with it after football. Like he's so into like spirituality and medicinal, like alternative medicine, and like to admit that you've gone on like multiple ayahuasca trips, like that is wild for a current quarterback who's about to be a future Hall of Famer. Like good on him for being so open about his life. So he's going to have all this attention. I'm just curious what he does with it. Like he's not going to like a broadcast booth to like put on a blazer and do a Titans Colts game. Like I think he's got some bigger things planned.
No, but I mean, I wouldn't have thought that he was going to be someone in the running for Jeopardy either.
Smartest guy in the room. Come on, Brandon.
And I think like there's a lot of talk about whether or not he's going to succeed with the New York media. And I think most of that concern is coming from outside of New York, because I do think, like you said, he is so open and honest. And that's something that the New York media appreciates. Like they go after the people that have media boycotts or attack the fans or attempt to hide from something that the athletes said. And that's not Aaron Rodgers at all.
Well, let's be honest too. The winning, like if they're winning and things are going well, he obviously can be very charming. I mean, we watched the introductory press conference. He said the Lombardi's trophy is feeling a little lonely. I mean, he knows that is red meat to the Jets fans and to the media. He's way too savvy, I think, for this to go really off the rails. And everyone's like on the lookout for it, which I think makes it even more like everyone's going to be on their best behavior. He gives thoughtful answers. The fact that he started doing Pat McAfee every Tuesday, like I can only thank Aaron Rodgers. He's given us so much content. We have a running bit on our show where, can I curse on this podcast?
Yeah.
Okay. Our running bit is, what the fuck is Aaron Rodgers up to today? And we just bleep out the F word. And it's hilarious. And it's such a variety of things that we can bring it out whenever, whenever Aaron Rodgers does.
Yeah, no, the McAfee show definitely has showed Aaron Rodgers in a different light, because previously he was somebody that he was a superstar, but he was still thought of as being quiet and maybe not having that much of a personality. And then 3 years ago, he goes on McAfee's show. He starts talking about aliens, and like it's all been crazy since then.
Yeah, listen, if it's not for all athletes, right? Or it's not for all public people, but for him, like he seems pretty comfortable in his own skin. He doesn't seem like he has the vaccination stuff aside, doesn't seem like he has a lot to hide.
Yeah.
It just seems like he's obviously very comfortable when he wants the conversation. It seems like to go in a different direction. And that's a rare bird. I mean, that wasn't Tom Brady ever. You weren't getting anything like that from Tom, Peyton Manning. I mean, nothing. So the fact that we have this all-time great quarterback who's opening up to us like this I hope he plays forever.